I get dropped for the right back here. I'm gonna fight this shit. I'm gonna take this risk and let my pride get dropped for the right back here. Cause there's no question, I've been through worse, I can handle this.
Let's go. I'm better than ever, they never been better than I. Regarded the hardest and I ain't even reaching my prime. They hate that I'm great and they faking I'm real as they come. So sit back and let me show you how this shit is done. My composition, my propositions, I'm raping the system. I'm killing the competition and all of y'all are my victims. Eyes and oohs as I'm ripping the instrumental, lyrical, individual, never been sentimental. I'm so hot every time that beat drop, and when I say I'm raping the system.
What is good, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy FightNightsFinest, the sofa commentator, here with Dave the Rip One, bringing you guys day 4 of tournament fight results. We had some awesome fights that went down this time around, and without further ado, Dave, take it away.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we've had some great fights that went down. 2 of the 3 fights that have gone down have been with AC Gaming. The first one actually happened not long after the last update was posted, but the fight was not posted to YouTube yet, so we're gonna go ahead and cover that now, which was HZ Gaming for you, Henry Zayas 81 versus my boy Loco P420. What did you think of that fight?
I thought it was a great and valiant effort by Loco P420 going up against the crafty outside veteran HZ Gaming for you. But he was just too aggressive. I know it's his style. I know what it is. That's what it is that he does. But sometimes when you go to be an inside fighter, you have to be patient on the inside and work your angles, work when it's the right time to come in. When sometimes it's better just to stay still, work that jab, or sometimes force the outside fighter to give up his height and come forward. And I think at the end of the day, that was the downfall of Loco P420. But like I said, nevertheless, great effort by him and good job by AZ Gaming, just using the outside and outboxing Loco P420.
Yeah, Loco P420 is a great fighter, but with that being said, I saw a couple things that really did him in. Like you said, he's an aggressive fighter. He comes in like a truck. This fight kind of reminded me like a Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran. And you see it, like he just came in non-stop aggressiveness, and that's not necessarily the style that you want to bring against a crafty defensive fighter like AC Gaming. He just came in non-stop with combinations, and you saw him throwing the majority of his punches to the body, which is good to wear your opponent down, but you gotta mix it up and go to the head sometimes if you want to get a knockdown if you're down later and on in the cards. So yeah, nonetheless, great valiant effort by Loco P420. And also you saw him get a little frustrated, and one thing you never want to do when you're in a ring with a guy like AC Gaming is show that you're frustrated. At the end of the fight, you see, basically like Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran, you see this man taunting him, and you see him just basically getting done dirty. And you always want to keep your cool. Remember, it's just a game, and have fun. But it was a great fight. So moving on to the next one, HC Gaming for you, Henry Zayas 81 versus JBL. Another great fight. And what did you think of that one, man?
See, JBL was one of those fighters that haven't sent in any kind of footage, so nobody had no clue as to what type of fighter he was, whether he was an inside fighter, whether he was a counter puncher, whether he was an outside fighter, whatever style it was that he brought to the table. It was one of those things where you just have to be prepared for any type of style of fight. So I want to give credit to AZ Gaming for you for go ahead and practicing and training during the week, and just making sure that he was prepared for any style that any person brung in the tournament. And we did see JBL give AZ Gaming some trouble early on. These guys were going back and forth. Round 1 went to JBL, round 2 went to AZ Gaming, round 3 went to JBL, round 4 went to AZ Gaming. And with the adjustment being put there, with the fact that I just started to see some fatigue on the side of JBL, we saw AZ Gaming being able to take over the fight by taking away the outside, start popping that jab out a lot more, start counter punching and working off the combos that JBL was given. And even though one thing I was impressed with that I saw from JBL in this fight was the fact that he had a very educated left hand, and he was using it very well throughout the entirety of the fight. But he became a little bit too predictable. You saw that straight right hand, left uppercut combination coming through quite a bit, and AZ Gaming eventually caught the timing of it and started landing some counters. So I credit to AZ Gaming for just being able to take away what his opponent was doing best and using one of his own strengths and just being a good all-around fighter and taking this win.
And I gotta say that hook combinations in that training montage, OP. A great fight though, guys. You know, one of the things that you want to do against a guy like AC Gaming or Doc Dozer or AC Corners is you gotta be able to take that outside. AC Gaming is a small, compact, very fast fighter, and if you come in, if you make it to where he makes you come inside, you're gonna lose. He's a very good counter puncher, very good at timing shots. So you gotta find a way to land that first shot and make him come in and just pot shot him with jabs, and you know, don't fight his kind of fight. But great fight to JBL. Thank you for participating in the tournament. It's been a class act. No controversy from him, I don't believe. So, you know, thank you very much for being the type of competitor that we like to see going forward in tournaments like this. The next fight, though, Professor 313 versus Oh My God, It's Rambo. There was some controversy, and go ahead and explain that.
Exactly. Speaking of controversy, this was one of those more controversial matches that happened during the fight. We see at the beginning, 1 minute into the fight, where we see Professor 313 with that middleweight 147 when the directions and instructions in the video was clearly 147 welterweight, and it really does make a big difference in the power difference. But after speaking to Rambo about the fight, he decided that it was okay and that he'll let him rock with it, and that's the only reason that he wasn't banned. It's also been said that possibly Rambo was also at 147 middleweight as well, which probably wouldn't have made any big difference to either one of the fighters. So in all, possibly still could have been a great fight and still equal match. So one thing I saw during the fight though was a lot of stamina problems on the end of Oh My God, It's Rambo, just being really worn down and not having much to any stamina at all when it came down to the 8th round, which is where I believe that fight ended. But nevertheless, Rambo was able to get one step further than he has been in previous tournaments, being able to make it to the 2nd round. That's right. Give that man a round of applause. Shout out to Pastor Games. But yeah, good job, Rambo. Good job for making it to the 2nd round. And Professor, don't pull this for a 3rd time in the semifinals, because next time you're just gonna be banned.
Yeah, you guys know now, everybody should know now that the weight is 147 welterweight. But I do believe that both of these guys were both middleweight 147, which kind of calls into question the previous fights. But at this point, it's too late in the tournament to go all the way back to round 1 and try to figure stuff out. So, you know, if anything was wrong, we apologize, and hopefully those guys will be able to come back strong and prove themselves in the league when it gets started. But good fight, guys. You know, if there was a power difference, you know, if there was a weight difference, I think we would see that much early on in the fight than we did. So that's why I say I believe that, you know, both of these guys are on an even kill. So with those 3 fights being out of the way, let's take a look at some of the upcoming fights that we got going on. And the first one is my boy FightNightsFinest going up against Louisiana, and this is going to be a very good fight.
Yeah, I don't know who this FightNightsFinest dude is, but one thing I heard is that he's an all-around fighter, and going up against a counterpuncher like Louisiana, it's going to be a very difficult matchup. A lot of things that he would like to do, such as throwing out the jab. He might be able to get countered if he's not continuously unpredictable. And, you know, with a counterpuncher like Louisiana, who has been proven through this tournament, who has ran through fighters such as Relapse, who have had an aggressive style and is known for coming forward and just being able to lay dudes out. With a fighter like that getting completely dominated, it's, you know, FightNightsFinest has the tendency to come onto the inside, and that can end up being a dangerous thing for him as well.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be definitely. I think it might start off one way, but it's gonna end up being a chess match, and basically, you know, whoever can take the outside game and counter. You know, it's gonna be a fight of counters, I believe. But moving into the next one, and you don't know who this FightNightsFinest guy is. Come on, man.
I don't know, man. I just don't. What do you want to do?
I heard he began work by that day to rip one guy in sparring sessions, though.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good.
That's real good. The next fight we got going on, guys, is Pandemonium 808 versus Muffle Snuffle. I've had the pleasure of sparring with Muffle Snuffle, and he's a very capable fighter. I've never fought Pandemonium 808. So, you know, that should be a good fight. I don't know. What do you think?
Now, I played my boy Muffle Stuffle quite a few times, and I'll be the first to tell you, I said it since the beginning, he's going to be a sleeper in this tournament. The dude is an excellent counterpuncher, and with a lot of discipline, he could be very much the winner of this entire tournament. Even taking out guys like 8Z, FightNightsFinest, AC Carnage, all the returning veterans and former champions. He has the ability to go ahead and take these guys out. So I'm definitely expecting Muffle Stuffle to take this one, and Pandemonium 808 to give it his best effort.
Yes, sir. And the next, we got AC Carnage looking to fight the winner of that fight. So both of you guys, if you're watching this video, try to get your fights in, because AC Carnage is antsy and he's ready to knock somebody out.
Hey, AC, man. Stay thirsty, my friend.
Stay thirsty, my friend. The next one we got going on is Professor 313 versus Smackhead 666. I want to know where he got that name from. I hope it's not a literal thing where you be a smackhead and shooting up and all that. So just please, man, if you are, I'll help you. I know some rehabs you can go to. It'll be okay. I promise. Nah, I'm just clowning. I doubt that's what it is. He's a pretty cool guy. I've fought Smackhead 666 a couple times. Very good fighter. But again, I haven't seen Professor 313 other than the Rambo fight. So if I had to choose, I'm going to say my boy Smackhead 666 to take this fight. But what do you think?
My boy the Professor has been able to school the newly improved Rambo, who struggled so much to make weight in the first round. And we did see a lot of technical boxing skills from the Professor. So I'm looking for him to give this man an education in the art of Fight Night Champion boxing. I'm taking my boy Professor 313 in this fight against Smackhead 666.
You want to put money on it?
We could put money on this, man. Bet that PlayStation 4 you got in your basement.
No. I'll let you go ahead and take that then.
I guess the risk too high.
Definitely. But the winner of that is going up against HZ Gaming for You, who has been just running through people in this tournament with his crafty outside boxing and just good form. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Stop it. And then you have the winner of Pandemonium 808 and Muffle Snuffle will fight AC Carnage. And then the winners from FightNightsFinest in Louisiana and AC Carnage, and whoever wins the Pandemonium Muffle Snuffle fight will fight. I'm picking that's going to be FightNightsFinest versus AC Carnage off a very good effort by Louisiana, and whoever wins the Pandemonium Muffle Snuffle fight, which will lead to some interesting fights. You're going to have either FightNightsFinest or AC Carnage going up against probably AC Gaming. I'm thinking that AC Gaming could probably take out Smackhead or Professor 313. No disrespect. The Professor. I think the Professor's gonna get schooled by my man AC if he makes it that far.
That high level of education.
But that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your fights that went down. These are your fights that are coming up. Very excited to get this tournament over with and see who ends up taking it.
Yeah, really interested to see how this tournament plays out. We're going to try to get these fights done as soon as possible. I'm just waiting for this stuff to get here so I can go ahead and try to record this match against Louisiana. But until then, thank you guys again for watching. This is your boy FightNightsFinest, the Sofa commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.
And Day the Rope, when I'm out of here. Wishing you guys good fights and happy holidays. Peace.